This deck is absolute dog shit. Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bastion Yugioh here, and I'm coming at you with the best deck of all. No, it's not. This deck is absolutely not the best deck of all time, but I am trying to make it as best as it can possibly be with what we were given. Now, Watts are a deck that came out way back when. We're never really all that good, but I love the artwork. I like their what can be considered a play style of what it can do. So basically, all the really cards that are playable with this deck is all the ones that get an attack directly, because it's the only really cool thing that the deck can really do. And you're going to be going second each and every single time, so you gotta fill it with board breakers. That's exactly what I did. So we got some new support in Age of Overlord, so we're gonna go ahead and try it out and see how well it can do. But I have a pure Watt deck for you guys. I want to go ahead and make this as best as possible. Now, there are some different alternatives out there if you guys want to actually make this deck a little bit more competitive. As much as you can, it can synergize well with decks like Battery Man. Potentially, you can mix it with Sprites. You can mix it with other Thunder decks, I guess. Whatever, if that's even a category, really. But the deck has some cool lines of play now with the new Watt cards, especially Watt Tuna. Really great card for the archetype. Actually phenomenal card overall. You know, with the ability to special summon and the ability to synchro during the battle phase, you know, all those type of things. It's all really cool. Can put out a decent amount of damage on board. Nothing life threatening. There's no crazy OTK. This deck really needs another type of really good tuner you can special summon during the battle phase, or another type of synchro monster with just a little bit more attack points. And this deck might be rogue. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get right into it. We play 3 copies of Watt Tuna. This card can attack directly. Also, of course, one of the new cards coming out of Age of Overlord, so very exciting, of course. Watt Tuna can attack your opponent directly. You can only use each of the following effects of Watt Tuna once per turn. At the end of the damage step, if your monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can special summon this card from your hand. So realistically, what you're going to be doing is attacking directly with Watt Cobra. Activate the effect to add a Watt monster. You add Watt Tuna, and then Watt Tuna will still recognize that you dealt damage with your monster, so then go ahead and special summon itself. So that's nice. There's some synergy. We'll take that. Bravo. Good job, Konami. You gave us some type of synergy in this deck. That's great. Let's see what else to do. You special summon this card from your hand. Okay. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent by a direct attack, which this card can attack directly, so you're good to go with that, you can tribute this card on the field and one other non-tuner monster, doesn't have to be a monster, from your hand and or face-up field. Special summon 1 Watt synchro monster from your extra deck whose level equal the levels of the tributed monsters, basically synchro summoning during your battle phase. So really cool synergistic stuff going on over there. So what we basically do, the main combo is you normal summon Watt Cobra, you go to your battle phase, you attack Watt Cobra, activate Watt Cobra effect, search Watt Tuna. Watt Tuna is going to then activate to special summon itself. You attack with Watt Tuna, and then you go ahead and synchro summon during the battle phase. Go into Watt Taurus. Watt Taurus is then going to go ahead and be able to attack, and you shuffle it back along with another face-up non-tuner. You basically target the Watt Tuna in your graveyard and itself, shuffle them back to summon out Watt Chimera and, you know, punch your opponent for 1400, and you loop 1 card from their hand back to the top of their deck. Ooh, scary. So we have that going for us, of course. Watt Cobra we already went over. Watt Giraffe, which I really wish would do something when it inflicts damage. Doesn't really do that much. Your opponent just cannot activate cards or effects until the end of that turn, which basically means that they're not activating anything during your main phase 2. They can't activate cards or effects at the end of this turn, so they can't activate things like Evenly Matched, if that was ever gonna be an issue. You can't activate Evenly Matched. You can't activate anything in the end phase. You're pretty much free to go and do whatever it is that you want during the main phase 2 and end phase. So that's kind of cool there. And the last Watt monster that we are playing in the main next course is going to be Watt Dragonfly, which is pretty much there for shits and giggles. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. I mean, you kind of like to have another Watt monster, so you play the hand you're fucking dealt. I do play Interrupted Kaiju Slumber along with, of course, Lightning Storms and Dark Hole, things like that. Just because you need board wipes, of course, in this deck. I do play Dark Hole because you do play the one copy of Dark Hole Dragon. I thought that'd be really funny to go ahead and play. You can also play cards like Regeki, things like that, which realistically would probably be more effective. But even if you destroy your own monster, you're always going to be going second. So if you destroy your own monsters, it's because you already were given a monster, like a Ken or a Gen, or you have a Ibli on your field. In which case, Dark Hole just takes care of the whole situation, so you're good to go from there. So you play 4 Kaiju, so you have that little bit of variety in your deck, and you just go ahead and slap your opponent for whatever the damage is. 3 Ash Blossom and 3 Emperor are going to be your only hand traps, really the only ones you really need. I consider playing Droll and Lockbird instead, but it doesn't really hit enough decks for it to be as impactful, because you want your opponent to set up as minimal a board as possible, because essentially if you survive turn 1, which means that you don't get FTK'd, you punch your opponent for around 4,000 to 5,000 points of damage, because this deck doesn't really deal out damage, and then you gotta survive another turn. So I went for a more, okay, hits the most amount of things in the format, you know. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments, because I'm trying here. For the board breakers, I played 2 Lightning Storm, 2 Dark Hole, 2 copies of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. I do also, that's just for the board breakers, of course. I guess you could also call it Imperma board breaker as well. But I do play 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary. Photon Sanctuary is a phenomenal card. Actually, it has a lot of synergy with the Watts, because special summons 2 Thunder monsters, level 4, 2,000 attack, 0 defense, and defense position. But what is really interesting, and what I do love about this card is that yes, you can only activate or special summon whatever light monster for this turn, which is fine because you're playing Watts. Watts are, you know, lights, things like that. But Photon Sanctuary is really good because it gets you access to Hip Hoshinigin, whatever this card is, which boosts the attack points of all light monsters by 500 attack and defense, which is really good. So I will happily take that to the bank. I should probably be playing 2 of this card, but it is what it is. I want to throw 1 SP Little Knight just for the lulz. So next we played 3 copies of the Watt Train, which lets you add Watt cards from your deck to your hand up to the number of Thunder monsters you control with different names. So that's pretty cool. 3 copies of Power of Prosperity because you need consistency, even though this sucks because you also decrease the amount of damage you're doing. I have seen a lot of people play Extravagance in the deck. I really don't like Extravagance because you don't get to search out what you need, and you're giving out 6 cards randomly from your extra deck, which could be the synchros that you essentially need. Realistically, you could play 3 Part of Extravagance and then play 3 of all the synchros, and then 3 Hip Hoshigan, and then 3 of the, I don't know, some Summer Summoner, if that's something you want to go ahead and do. That's definitely an option, and of course the 3 Imperms to round off the 40 card deck. Now for the extra deck, of course, play 1 IP, 1 Hip Hoshigan, 1 Summer Summoner, 1 SP Little Knight. Again, if you can't play this, that is perfectly fine. Just throw another one of these in there and you'll be good to go. That's just probably the better move, realistically. Nightmare, Unicorn, 1 copy of Appaloosa, access code, 1 Thunder Dragon, Thunder Storm, Thunder, this card, 1 Mech Knight, Crusadia Avermax, and then 2 copies of each of the synchros. What Hydra is easily the worst one. I think there's only 3 Watt synchros, if I'm not mistaken. There really should be more, considering when this deck was originally released, things like that as well. I just really wish this deck had a little bit more support. Okay, if all Watt cards had the small line that says this card can attack directly, the whole deck would be a million times better. But they don't. They all say if they inflict damage, but they have like 100 attack points, literally 200 attack points or things like that, and there's not gonna be beat over anybody. And realistically, the only thing that is going to do for you is in the event you have another one of the Watt cards that lets all you guys attack directly that turn. So that's something that's worth considering. Also, just so you guys didn't know, a little Easter egg for you: Watt Kingdom has the Rick and Morty portal swirl in the background. I don't think that was intended, but there you go for you Rick and Morty fans out there as well. So that's gonna be it for the Watt deck profile, guys. Honestly, this is definitely just a fun deck. Don't Don't think this is gonna be the new sauce. This is not, you know, there's some hidden craziness. This is not like Lithium 2300 with the Monarch. It's not like that. Let's calm down. Although it does play an obscene amount of board breakers, you can actually go ahead and play Torrential Tribute in here. You can go ahead and play a 3-copy array. You can essentially just slow your deck up with board breakers. As long as you're able to get to a Watt Cobra, you are good to go for the entire turn, and you're guaranteeing yourself a whopping 1,800 points of damage per turn to your opponent, which which is interesting. I'll go ahead and show you guys a quick combo. Why not? Why not? Let's go ahead and check this out, guys. So we're gonna do a 1-card combo for you. So that's what you want to go ahead and do, right? Is you want to go ahead and summon out your Watt Cobra, which is cool. Summon out Watt Cobra, nice. And you go battle phase. You punch your opponent for a staggering 1,000 points of damage. You search out your Watt Tuna. And then now you got your Tuna in hand. It recognizes that you did damage, so it gets a special summon itself. Get out of here. Special summon itself right over here. It doesn't matter. Then we're gonna attack with Watt Tuna. Deal it 800 points of damage. That's too much damage right there. Then we're gonna go ahead and send these two to the grave and synchro summon during the battle phase, which is a crazy mechanic in the event you make more cards like Watt Tuna for the Watt strategy. You punch your opponent for 1,600, then you activate Watt Taurus's effect to send itself and another Watt Tuna. Send them back into the extra deck, shuffle them back. You can go for Watt Hydra in order to deal 100 more points of damage. But realistically, getting Watt Chimera and shuffling back or putting 1 card from your opponent's hand to the top of the deck is slightly better because they have 1 less card in their hand to go ahead and deal with or whatever it might be. Because realistically, you're going second anyway, so your opponent should not have a lot of cards in their hand unless they're playing something crazy like Branded Chimera, which will draw you a whole bunch of cards anyway, or you're playing something like Purelli. Your opponent is, in which case you know they're going to draw 6 cards during your standby phase and you just can't do anything about it. So that is going to be it for the combo and deck profile for you guys. Let me know what you guys think of Watts in the comment section down below. Am I selling them short? Is there some secret tech in here, something that I'm completely missing to make Watts legit? If you do know the answer to that question, let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, guys, if you guys want to see any other wacky deck profiles like Receive, Support, Agov, there are some weird ones out there. Let me know in the comment section down below. Go ahead and get out to you guys. But if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.